Ladies and gentlemen, bats and ghouls, Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends have come together at this spookiest time of year to say boo to you as they proudly present the not-so-scary Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade!
Hello and welcome to my Disney Brain. Today is October the 6th. And we're in the fourth quarter of the year. Fall is, I know I've said it probably the last couple podcasts, but fall is here. And it feels good outside. I've even heard and seen some folks in the Florida area as they are going through the parks, talking about how nice the weather is now. High 70s, low 80s. So that is certainly a reprieve from some of the weather that the Floridians were under here in Atlanta. I think we're waking up to, what do you guys think? Probably about 60s in the morning.
Yeah.
Low 60s. So it's nice and cool in the morning when we're up taking the dogs out and stuff like that. So today I've got the girls in the studio with me. Hello, Imani.
Hello.
Hello, Nia.
Good morning.
We've got a fun show planned for you today. We thought it would be fun. We're probably going to do this. We're going to do this with every Walt Disney World park. And that is Keep, Kill, Create. Keep, Kill, Create. So today we're going to start with Epcot. We're going to do Keep, Kill, Create, which is what of the World Showcase countries would we keep, which would we get rid of, and then which country do we think should be represented that's currently not? And how would the attractions look? How would the countries look? What would we do? We're going to take on roles basically as Imagineers. This is going to be our project.
Cool.
And we're going to do Keep, Kill, Create. So hang around for that. As always, first timers, thank you for finding us. Go ahead and lock us in to wherever you're currently listening. So the next time the bell rings, you'll know that My Disney Brain has new content and you will be the first to be able to listen to it. Our lifelongers and folks that have been with us for the last season and first season and this season, thank you for supporting us. I mentioned in podcast a few days ago how our numbers just jumped and keep going. So keep listening, keep sharing, keep supporting. And most of all, and this is really important, guys, please do this for us. If you listen to the podcast, listen to it all the way through. Even if you don't, please give us a 5-star review. That really helps us to be found by other folks who are looking for Disney content, whether it is on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Play or wherever folks are listening to stuff. Excuse me, my voice seems to be going away. But please do that. Please do that. Give us a 5-star review. We really would appreciate it. If you want to get caught up on the news, check out podcast 29, which we recorded over the weekend. It's going to catch you up with all news-related items for Disney in terms of what's going on at the theme parks. I think we even talked about park hours adjusting and changing. Of course, there was some not so good news that came out from Disney last week in terms of the furloughs that turned into layoffs and things like that. But we went through all of that, so we're not going to do that today. We're only going to do feel-good stuff today, and we're going to jump into the game in just a few minutes. But we just wanted to say thank you for joining us. So we hope you're having a good week. By the time this posts, you will be at least a hump day type of podcast. So after you listen to this one, you give us that 5-star review, head on back through Season 2 and Season 1 and keep on listening. All right, ladies.
Yes.
We're ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
When I first came up with this idea, I'll be honest with you. It's a good idea. But I ran into some trouble because I was like, Oh man, which one would I get rid of? I think that was my toughest thing trying to figure like which one would I get rid of. For the most part, I like them all. And then of course trying to match up like the one you think you would create. What kind of attraction would you have? So I'm interested to see what you guys came up with. Who wants to kick us off?
Me.
As always.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Okay, so
we're starting off with the keep.
okay.
This is the country that you would keep.
How are we operating? Is everybody doing their keeps first?
Yes, everybody's doing their keeps. We're gonna go around robin, come back. We're gonna do the kill, and then come back. We'll do the create.
Okay. So I would keep Italy.
Of course, you steal mine.
Okay, whatever. I would keep Italy.
All right. So what is it about Italy that is so fantastic outside of Via Napoli?
Well, no, because that's part of my answer. The pizza, the pizza in Italy is almost as good as it is in the actual country. And before I had the opportunity to actually go to Italy, like it was the closest thing that I thought I was going to get to for a long time. And it's so pretty. And being able to like compare the two now that I've actually been, it's very close in replication to what you would see if you were actually in the country. So I just think they did a good job with replicating it. And I've always liked Italy as a country. I thought it was a very romantic country.
Well, okay. Listen, pizza is the primary reason why I'm not completely vegan, so I get that. The day that and I don't know what took us so long to
I don't either, because that was our first
go
time.
there. If you've never been to Via Napoli over in the Italy Pavilion and World Showcase, then you're missing a treat because as it is with most things Disney recruits folks from those countries to come and to act as ambassadors within those lands. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this year things have been impacted, but let's assume we're in 2019 and post, COVID world. Right. So when we went, people were super nice, but you could tell. Matter of fact, I think one of the ladies that was waiting on us, she was telling us where she was from, mm-hmm. and like she grew up in the countryside, and she was telling us like the different types of dialect in certain parts of Italy and things like that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know. Well, I think I was of legal age, but we were also like walking around and tired. So I don't know how their wine selection was, but I'm pretty sure it was amazing. And the way that they have the restaurant decorated in terms of the art that's on the walls and the windows and everything, it really just kind of, they did a good job. They did a really good job. I'll just put it that way, because by then, I hadn't gone yet. So that was my whole idea of Italy. So when I saw Italy, I was like, yep, they did a great job. They did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can go with that. If you check out our Instagram page, we posted a picture maybe a week or so ago. That post probably got the most comments and questions that we've gotten in a long time. Because you know how big that pizza was that we got.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was ginormous. And when it came to the table, we were like, it's going to take a team effort to knock this puppy out. And fortunately, we had my son with us, so it wasn't as difficult.
It wasn't
as we
much
thought.
of a team. It was.
But on the Instagram post, I took a really good picture of the pizza, and people were like, oh my God, how big was this thing?
Yeah.
And I said, it was as big as it looks.
Yeah.
That's how big it was.
But it wasn't heavy.
It wasn't heavy. Pizza, the crust was super light. The cheese was super light. It was really, really good. It was really good. And, like Imani's saying, the core inside, like I like the 3 ovens.
Yeah.
They made those men's faces and things like that. It was a really quaint place to, let's be honest, we were trying to get out of the rain. And this is about the closest place that we could get into. And we were like, oh, let's eat here. And it turned out to be one of those, magical moments, if you would. We were like, why haven't we eaten here before?
Yeah.
And don't think pizza is the only thing they have on the menu.
No, it's not. But I think it was the only thing that we all like knew that we would agree on.
Yeah.
And it was a share. You know, it was shareable, so it's cost effective.
Yeah.
And it was a good idea because I mean, of course, afterwards we kept walking throughout the day, so we didn't feel sluggish.
Yeah. All right. So Italy, I can go with that. Nia, which country would you keep?
Japan. I would keep Japan.
Yep, we like Japan.
Yeah.
Now, I like Japan because I like the Asian and Japanese candies. So oftentimes we go through the shops, I can always find new ones to try as
Yep.
we're walking. So I think that's what me and Cameron do. We just, because there's different sections and you'll look at the rocks, mommy's looking at something.
Yeah.
You're usually with mom. And so I like looking at the Asian candy. And while we're there, it's oftentimes you'll see people outside playing music. Or beating the drums.
Yeah, the drums. The ladies that do the drums.
I really like that, and the architecture there is really nicely done. I don't know why, but every time we go, maybe it's because the last time we went, it was raining, but it seems to have a really gloomy, not gloomy, but darker.
Overcast.
Yeah. The decor there is dark. It's that dark oak wood, those buildings.
Deep red, black.
And they have those sharp,
Sharp edges
on
in the
everything.
architecture.
And actually, if you listen to Japanese dialect, it's very sharp. It's very, distinct. I dated a girl 100 years ago who was, her mom was Japanese and her dad was African American. And so she was what you millennials refer to as Blasian, I guess. Is that what y'all say?
I think everyone would say that.
No,
But
that
okay.
is not a
You
term.
wouldn't say Blasian back then?
I would not. I would just say her mom was Japanese and her dad was African American. Or maybe when I was in high school, we say they were mixed. That's
There
what
you
we
go.
say.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is what does
Mixed
that
with
even
what?
mean? Mixed with what? So anyway, she was absolutely gorgeous. And she taught me about,
My mom's going to have to hear this podcast.
yeah,
Don't get yourself in trouble now. Come on.
I said 100 years ago. So anyway, she taught me about Japanese dialect. Her name... we would see it. Okay, so let's say if she was to write her name down.
Okay.
Her name was Yoshiko.
Yoshiko. Okay.
But if she was to write it down and give it to a teacher or to one of us to pronounce it, and she not explain how Japanese don't use syllables and stuff like that, you would say her name was Yoshiko. Because that's what people, I met her in the mall. And that's what people where I worked in the mall said, oh, there go Yoshiko. And that's what I started calling. She was like, that is not my name. So for short, she allowed people to call her Yogi because no one could
that's cute.
pronounce. I did after a long time, but she would say, you don't do these syllables. It's no Yoshiko. That is not my name. It's Yoshiko. It's really quick. It's really fast.
Gotcha.
And I was like, that would be a very tough language to learn.
Yeah.
Because I think we're lazy speakers
would have to
in the
just,
U.S.
be rewired completely.
Well, think about our dialect. I think and I'm not certain, but I've heard people say this. I also dated a girl that was Spanish in high school. She couldn't speak a word.
You just went all around the country, didn't you?
Okay, first of all, those are two people. They just happen.
That we know of. We're learning so much about you today, Dad.
No, my point is this. What was funny is she could hardly speak any English.
How did this relationship work?
Well, I was introduced by a friend of mine. And so anyway, what was funny is she could, let's say she called the house to ask for me. She could ask for me, but if for example, you say, hold on for a second, or who is this, or another question, then it's going to throw her off because she's not prepared to go beyond saying my name.
Oh, that sounds like me when I speak Spanish.
Right. She's like, okay. But what was hilarious, when Michael Jackson's song came on,
She knew all
word
the
for word. It was literally word for word, perfect English. But if you say well, Kelly's not busy, can he call you back? She wouldn't know what to say.
Gotcha.
How did your
Music is
conversation go?
powerful.
Well, in high school, I was taking Spanish. So I could speak Spanish a lot better than I can now because I would be around her all the time. Well, not all the time, but I would be talking to her. So the more you use it, the better off you be. But if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's true.
So these days, I can understand people when they speak Spanish, but it's my lazy Southern dialect.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to get those R's going sometimes. In my brain, I got it.
Yeah.
But
Then
when
you
it
try
comes
and
out,
say it.
It's
yeah,
like-
and when it comes out, it's like that didn't sound
You
like
just want to
that.
be like,
wrong.
wait, it sounded better
That's
in my head. I
wrong.
apologize.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah. I'm gonna get to another story, but anyway.
wow, you had another girlfriend you were
no,
going
it's not another girlfriend. No. I tried to. What I was going to tell you is, when I took your mom to Puerto Rico. What was it, 3 years ago for her birthday or our anniversary? I can't remember. But anyway, we were in Puerto Rico, and we had taken that Spanish class for like 3 months,
for like 3
up
months.
until going, because we were determined to speak Spanish. So we get to the airport, and I'm going to car rental, and I start out speaking my Spanish, and I was doing really good. Like, well, if you look at me, you can't really tell. If I held
Rico,
it down,
you can't tell.
if I held down the lingo, people wouldn't know I wasn't Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So, but it lasted maybe 10 sentences. and then she was like, this dude is American. You're not Puerto Rican. And I forgot what she asked me, but I was like...
Usually they'll ask you, though. At least they did for us.
No,
in Costa
see,
Rica.
I call myself being... starting off the conversation. I'm the one.
So you was
That's
trying to
where
be
you
slick.
messed
up.
You was
Yes.
trying to be slick.
That's
She was
where you
like,
messed
No,
up.
I wasn't trying to be slick. I had paid
You
for this
felt
class.
confident.
Yeah, I felt confident. I felt like I could at least rent this car.
No.
And I don't even know
you
what
can't
shit.
initiate the conversation, okay? When we were in Costa Rica, our taxi driver initiated us because he didn't speak that much English either. So he was like, "Do either of you speak Spanish?" And I speak it more than Mikhail does. So.
Yeah. Well, she broke down after a while. She was like, "Well, do you speak English?" I was like, yes.
You got
And
me.
she was like, "Why you just didn't start off?" I was like, "I'm trying to, get my money's worth out of this class." So anyway, Japan. And I really like Japan. Like you said, even now today, if we go to, like, we live in Atlanta, of course, and there are areas in Atlanta that are heavily Asian populated.
There's like an area, but it is very heavily populated. Asian
Well,
populated.
so you have Buford Highway.
Yep.
But no, you have other areas where there are big pockets of Asian population. Peachtree Industrial, Gwinnett. Gwinnett has
Gwinnett?
Yes. The old Gwinnett Mall, all that area out there, there's a lot of Asian restaurants, different things like
didn't
that.
know that.
Now, but I'm very careful to keep saying Asian because I think you should always, if you can, be distinct with which group of people you're talking about, because when you say Asians, I think to some degree people don't really like that, because it's like, listen, there's Filipino, there's, technically, I guess, anyway, I try to distinguish. So in terms of the Japanese, we have way more Chinese, I think, and Vietnamese and Filipinos here than possibly Japanese.
Yeah.
And if they are here, I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
Listen, before we went plant-based, we were eating sushi like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
We were keeping somebody's sushi company in business, because sushi was, no kidding, that was a Friday night go-to.
Yeah.
That was a Saturday go-to. And if we were out, we were close to sushi, we were getting sushi. Mm-hmm. But other than sushi, I don't know where we would go to appreciate Japanese culture in Atlanta without being told.
I don't know.
But if you go up Buford Highway, you're going to
You see it everywhere.
an enormous amount of Asian cuisines, shopping areas, banks, you name it.
Yep.
And some you'll be able to distinguish because it'll be pho here and pho there. And then some you won't.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know why I told you that story. But Japan. Oh, I think I know. I told you that story because every time we go to the H Mart or somewhere like that, you guys always like to get those Asian candies.
Yeah, the high chews.
The high chews. What are those sticks?
Pocky.
Pokey or Pocky?
Pocky.
Pocky sticks
I don't know how
and
you're
things like
supposed to
that.
say it, but
Yeah, so we're really into just
I like the
diving
sodas
into
too.
the other.
I can't
Those
pronounce
sodas
those.
are good.
Yeah.
But
The ones you use the marble to open.
To that thing that pops out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. Japan. All right, so anything else on Japan?
it's a really good place to get like knickknacks if you're looking for a gift for somebody. You
Very
find anything in
unique.
them shops.
Yeah, they are very unique.
Very unique souvenirs there. I will say that.
Or
Very
if you're
unique.
a collector of fans, they have great fans there.
They also have action figures.
Yes.
Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so here's why my keep is better than yours.
Okay.
Cool. Great.
Don't hold back there, guys. Don't hold back.
All right, so
Way
the
to be
piece is
humble.
awesome. No, the piece is awesome. And the drummers in Japan is always a favorite for me.
Okay.
But mine has an actual ride in it.
Okay, what's yours?
You know,
Oh, I know yours.
Is Mexico. I love Mexico. I may have been Mexican in a past life. when we go to the World Showcase, we always start off to the left. And we always get to Mexico first. And let me tell you, I love a lot of the other countries.
Yeah.
But none of them are as impressive as the Mexico Pavilion. When you first walk in, it's like you just took a jump back into time or somewhere else, because you're literally out in a Mexican type of environment after 6 o'clock, after sundown, and you're shopping, that sort of thing. I really feel that way. The way that they've done that interior of the Mexico Pavilion is superb. Even since I was little, I remember going there when I was in high school, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Of course, I had never been to Mexico at that point, but I was like, oh my God, this is like being in Mexico. Now, possibly it could not have been, but for me, out of South Carolina, that was what I thought Mexico looked like.
Yeah.
And the pyramid and everything inside.
Yeah. They did a good job with that.
They really did, because when you do that ride, the three...
Three amigos?
Three caballeros.
Caballeros.
Yeah, there you go. See, I can't get the R's all the time. It's not the best... It's not the best attraction.
No, it's just a ride through.
But the reason I like it is because that whole maybe 3 to 4 minutes where you're getting on the ride vehicle and it's taking you out past the restaurant and then past the pyramid, that's the whole ride for me. Because that scenery there,
it's pretty.
It's awesome.
It's very pretty.
I could sit out there all day. Now, here's the other thing about Mexico that's not super great. I've not heard really good things about the restaurant.
Oh, that makes me sad, because I would love to go to that restaurant and just sit there under the...
I've always fancied that. And then I started getting bad reviews about it, hearing bad reviews about it. It's not inexpensive. So I thought, I don't think I want to just sit and look at a pyramid and then they bring me some frozen fish, something that was heated up, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll...
You should get their nachos. Well, at the one that's the food area that's outside, they have good nachos and margaritas.
The food area that's outside has a tremendous amount of things that I like, because we've eaten there before, but I just hadn't eaten inside because, one, it's not inexpensive, and two, I just kept, the time we were going, I was considering making a reservation, and I did some reviews and stuff online. People didn't have good things to say about it. That's sad. Of course, they also talked about the food not coming fast. So one thing I do not like is to go to, no. I don't mind it being pricey and stuff like that, but I'm not going to anybody's restaurant and they make me wait. After I ordered, you got about 10, 12 minutes to get the food to the table.
How you going to take 10, 12 minutes, but you don't want nothing that's been reheated? That's literally how long it takes to reheat something.
No, you should be anticipating. You know what I want to do? I want to be like I'm on a cruise. You know how fast the food come when you're on a cruise ship?
Well, yeah, because you just go get it.
No, not when we're dining in the the 6 p.m. time. When we're having dinner, they have a select amount of stuff on the menu. You only can order so many.
There's so many things.
Dinners. It doesn't mean that it was just being heated up. It means they have them already prepared. Yeah. And when you come, they just pick one and go. Yeah. The chefs have spent all day preparing it, so it's fresh. Mm-hmm. You just order it, and you don't have to wait all day. Yeah. That's one of the things I love about being on a cruise ship. It's like you order and bam, it's out.
Right there.
It's out. Now you're right, because now that we're plant-based, 9 times out of 10 we go somewhere, we have to wait to get the food, because...
Or we have to wait and see if something can be altered.
And they're always making it to order.
Yeah.
They're always making it to order. So maybe I should just kind of work on my patience. So anyway, I really love the Mexico Pavilion. I think the ethnic depiction of Mexico, from what I've seen, I do have some friends that are Mexican. I've talked about the Day of the Dead, some of that artwork, and they say, "Oh yeah,
I want to go there for Day of the Dead." Like, if it's the actual Mexico or the Mexico like in Epcot, I think that would be so cool, because one of my favorite Disney movies is Coco, and it's so cool.
Yeah. That open market area, I just like all the detail. So anyway, we would keep Italy,
yes,
Japan, and Mexico. So those aren't going anywhere. All right, so which ones would we not keep?
Okay, I would not keep Norway.
Ooh.
I wouldn't keep that one.
Uh-oh.
It's got to go. Because a number of things. One, Granted, I have never been on the Frozen ride, but the Frozen ride annoys me it annoys me because there's always an insane amount of people in line for it, and I'm just like, it's not that great, guys. Like it's a ride through. It can't be this spectacular. So that's annoying because it increases the volume of people that's in Norway, or at least like when I'm trying to get around Norway, it's just too many people. And then I don't know. Norway just doesn't.
Wait a minute. You upset at Norway because they have a lot of people that want to go into Norway?
Yes.
That doesn't.
And
make
because
sense.
it's Frozen. Like, I'm not a big fan of Frozen.
You don't like Haunted Mansion or somebody?
No, I'm just not a big fan of Frozen. Maybe I just don't see what the hype is about.
You the only one, because I'm telling you what, this Frozen probably has as much legs as the Lion King, and they gonna wear it out.
I am a very vocal Lion King lover, so maybe that's why I've chosen my side and it's not Frozen. But I mean, I don't know. Norway just doesn't.
Frozen's a cute little
The first one is cute. The second one was just weird for me. But Norway, I don't know. I could go without it. It's not something that I look forward to.
I'm not gonna press you to keep it. I won't press you to keep it. I don't. Well, I'll give you an interesting fact. I was looking up something the other week, and I came across the top 10 countries in the world currently to live in, to raise a family. Oh, yeah,
Norway's one of them.
Not one of them. Norway's number one.
Yeah. I would love to go to the country of Norway. I've heard great things about it, but it's just at Epcot. I'm just like,
I don't know. I actually like the way that it's built. I get it with Frozen. Here's the thing about, there's a cycle, right? So let's imagine today Alicia Keys comes out with a fantastic song, which she does. Mm-hmm. And people, Beyonce, whoever you listen to, maybe Alicia Keys is more my speed.
I listen to Alicia Keys.
Okay, so anyway, whatever your artist is, Tracy Chapman. What? So she comes out with a great song, right? Uh-huh. And every time that song comes on the radio, you're like, man, that's my song. Yeah. And you listen to it. And then each time you turn on TV, Good Morning America, they're on there, they're talking about it. There's going to come a tipping point where that song is not going to do it for you. It's like they're going to play it too much. Overdo it, yeah. And that's what happens with stuff that's good, that works. Yeah. They do it to death. And you hear it too much, and then all of a sudden now it's not your favorite thing. Yeah. And that's what happened with Frozen. I think people were so enamored with it, and they put it in the parades, and then they kind of forced it into World Showcase. A lot of people weren't happy with that because what is the story? It's something about it's technically not.
And it doesn't technically take place in Norway.
Right. It's a fictitious land. Yeah. It's kind of like me saying, okay, why don't you have Wakanda?
Right, in Morocco.
Something like that.
Because it's not there.
Or what if they actually put an attraction for Wakanda in Morocco? So that's how people were feeling. But here's the thing on the Disney side. They're getting you can look at the line now. People want to ride it. Yeah. And they're paying to come to do things they like to do. So on one hand, you say you can't be upset with Disney for providing the people what they want. Yeah. I would just say if you don't like it, you just kind of got to do one of those deals, walk by with your hand.
Listen.
Well, I'm not trying to tell you to keep it. I'm
not
this
hating
is my 2 cents.
on Norway. It don't do it for. Maybe if I actually, Lord willing, I actually get to Norway, because I do genuinely, I want to go to Norway and I want to go to Switzerland because I've heard great things about them. So maybe if I get a chance to go to Norway, I'll come back and do a compare and contrast.
Yes.
And be like, all right.
So we are going to Norway. We are going to Switzerland. So it's not an if. At some point we will. So Norway is your deal. So which one would you ask, Nia?
America.
Gang.
Okay.
Yeah. Personally,
it is ghetto here.
My thing is like, for starters, I can get American food all around this whole park.
Facts.
So
true.
I don't need to come specifically here to get American food. If I want the American experience, I can drive out of the Disney property and go to
and be in Florida.
Right. And then that show that they do, I'm gonna be completely honest. If you can actually watch it, that's great. But AC, a good chair, and them dark lights, that's just a midday nap.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this one together because
together as a unit.
Well, I mean, she and I, because this is what I had for my kill also.
Right.
Oh, you had America too?
Yeah, I had America also.
All right.
But potentially for a few different reasons. The food is not going to excite anybody, especially now since we're plant-based, because they don't have nothing over there that's not meat-related.
Yeah. And you eat one of them turkey legs, get in that room, it's just a knockout.
I saw a picture of you when you were little and you had a turkey, like a whole turkey leg in your hand, and it was so funny. It was like the size of your face.
The thing for me is, here's what I like about, without saying anything negative about the American Pavilion, I'll tell you what I enjoy about the other ones. I like the true ethical depictions of the country.
Yeah.
Every time, from my vantage as an African American man, when I go to anything that's talking about American history, it's only a version of what is hoped for. Let me just say it that way. It's only okay. Let me. I'm trying to be too PC. Let me just tell you like this: it's not fully encompassing of all Americans, and so what is depicted is not really reality. Now, I'm not Mexican, I'm not Norwegian, I'm not German. So somebody German could come and say, well, the German pavilion, we don't do
this either.
I can't say that. I can say from American standpoint that a lot of the stuff, depictions are not necessarily shared by all Americans. I don't particularly think while you live in America, you need an American attraction but I know why they did it, because
so many people come from other countries.
Well, people come from other countries, but also this is America. So what do Americans like to do? They like to make pretend like we are the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we're not. And so you always got to have the American thing in there, because that should be the pinnacle. That should be the great thing. Well, I get that, but that's only a theory.
Yeah.
And that's only shared by a few people.
It's
if
made
you
up.
fit into that theory,
It's made up. We made it up.
Well, yeah.
We made it up and put it in Disney World.
So I said America because you just need listen. If you want to update it,
that would be great.
to a truer story of how America is and how it was made, and then keep it, then we can talk that way. But I think by the time you do that, a lot of people are not going to be interested in seeing it, because it's not going to be full of...
I think the same people won't be interested in seeing it, but others will be like, we appreciate
how you did this.
Let's see how you did it. Did you do a good job?
Yeah.
Did you tell the truth this time? The whole truth and nothing but the truth?
We got to fact check this one.
I see what you did
well,
there.
but to Nia's point, we're in America, and if you want... This is kind of my...
If you want chicken, go to McDonald's.
Listen,
if you want Americans there, you got to serve American
I'm
food.
not going to say who did this, because he's related to us. But
oh, God.
Have you ever been, let's say, to Boma?
There's one in every family, sire.
So let's say you are dining on like Southwestern African cuisine.
Okay. Sounds very flavorful. Seasoned.
And then someone orders chicken fingers.
I do know some people who do that pretty often, unfortunately.
You just want to say, like...
Do you know where we are?
What's happening right now?
Have you ever left the States?
If 2 + 2 equals 4,
Well,
and 5 + 5
but you know what?
equals 10.
I'm going to tell you what I've learned in 49 years. Some people like chicken fingers.
Listen, that's cool.
What I mean metaphorically is some people like what they like,
and that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And
They're
that's
not
it.
going to branch out.
They're not going to branch out. Listen, they gonna die with a couple $100,000 in the bank.
And that's
never
fine.
been somebody else gonna spend. They not gonna run outside the road because they never gonna go speed limit. Some people like chicken fingers.
And that's it. That's fine.
And that's it. I don't care if you take them to Southwest Africa or you take them to McDonald's. They gonna order chicken fingers.
Imagine being in Africa and you actually there and you ask the waiter.
Bring you some chicken fingers.
I guarantee you somebody's done it. My point in saying this about the American adventure is we're here in America already. Pretty much your experience, if you are from India, you're from Pakistan, you're from somewhere else, from another country, you come to MCO. Soon as your feet touch the ground in Florida,
You're in America.
You're in America. And you will, unbeknownst to you, depending on how long you stay, you're going to get the American experience whether you want it or not. And your trip over. Now, if you're in the Disney bubble, you may not get as much of it.
Yeah.
You may not get as much of it. But in terms of food and custom and stuff like that, you'll see it. There's really, in my view, no need to have an American adventure unless you're going to commit to displaying a much truer depiction of American life.
Yeah.
Because to me, otherwise, as an American, I'm not going in there.
Don't nobody want no chicken fingers, America.
I honestly think we only went in that show like once to see what it actually happened.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay,
Well, just like
this
the
is
Hall of
over.
Presidents. Same
I've
thing.
never been in the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, we did it very briefly. You did it when you were little.
I did?
Yeah, because
I remember sleeping through the whole show. Like,
Yeah.
She went to?
Yeah. We all did it
When
before.
was this?
because we got a turkey leg right after. That's how I know them turkey
I
legs
do
put you
not
to sleep.
recall going in the House of Presidents.
Well, anyway, so we
We said America gotta go.
yeah. For the most part, for those reasons we listed, it's not.
For those reasons we listed. And therefore, we are going to go on to our create.
Yeah, let's go on to the next one. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so far we did keep and then we did kill. Now we're going to do
Create.
We're going to put on our Imagineer hats.
Yes.
And let's see what new concepts we can come up
I'm
with.
excited about that one. Okay, so my create would be Greece.
Yeah, I like that.
I would create a Greece, and we could put it right where America is at. So basically, I think now this is another place I would love to go to, and I haven't been yet. Greece. I've always been, even like in middle and high school, one of my favorite times of the school year is the segment where we talk about like gods and goddesses and poetry and stuff like that from Greece. And so that's always been very interesting to me. Even when I had the opportunity to go to the Louvre and see like all the gods and goddesses statues that they have there, that was so cool to me. And I would love to go to Greece and see the ruins and things like that. So I think if it was done or executed to the degree in which Disney always does things, I think it would be great aesthetically. And it would be perfect to put like a Hercules themed ride in it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what attraction do you think that would coincide with?
Yeah, Hercules.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm. You know you're talking about a good food element.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're talking about a good food element, and you're talking about a place. One of the things to me that makes up a good country recommendation in terms of what we're doing here is a place that people want to go. Mm-hmm. Is it a place that people want to go? And if you name Greece, well, just put it this way. I don't care if it's honeymoon, anniversary, or just like a bucket list type item. Mm-hmm. You're going to get Venice, Italy, Greece. You're going to get those types of responses from people. So Greece, Athens, Rome, these type situations, I think it's so much history where people want to just see, the Colosseum. They want to see the things that are the ruins and things like that. So,
Colosseum's in Rome, but I feel what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Well, it's close. And you know why I'm saying that? Because, we looked at that Mediterranean cruise.
We did.
And it was all kind of there
together.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
But it would be dope.
Know your countries.
It would be dope. I think Greece would be an awesome addition, especially, like I said, depending on how they set it up, between like historic elements and maybe kind of like how it looks now with Santorini and the blue houses and the mountains and all of that. I think it'd be pretty dope.
And I'm sure there's a large Greek population that is here in the States also. All right, Nia, which one would you create?
All right. I'm not necessarily sure of this country, but it should definitely be like there because it's a dope place.
You're not sure if it's a country.
Listen, I'm like my mother. I'm geographically challenged. It's fine.
The internet.
The Republic of Congo. I think that'd be great.
A country.
That's
Yeah. Okay.
Is
Cool.
that what you say?
Congo they call it the DR Congo. It's listed. Let's just say the Congo. Yes.
All right, Congo. For starters, where else do you know, like in America, that can do anything like this? I feel like Disney, out of all people, could do this perfectly. And if done right, it would be very, like, culturally correct, I'm hoping, if done right. And they could do, like, Tarzan-themed rides, because I feel like that could somewhat fit in there.
Congo?
Listen, it had a very jungle feel.
Did you watch Tarzan?
I did. I very much so did.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about the Congo. Congo, I think, is it mid?
It's in the middle of Africa.
Yeah, it's mid-Africa. I'm trying to think which coast is it closest to. It's sort of in the middle. Probably closest to the west coast of Africa, I think. I've had people DM me, comment on different posts, Epcot stuff, saying you got to try food from Morocco.
Yeah,
and
you
you've
should.
got to check it out.
It's
so,
good.
yeah, I don't doubt that it is. So, Nia, you're saying Congo would be a country that you think would be well represented, and it could be kind of Tarzan theme.
Yeah.
If you go Tarzan, you know what you could do? You're talking about another element for the younger kids.
Yeah.
Because Epcot's always struggled with maintaining that interest level of those younger audiences.
It's very adult.
Well, they struggled in the early years with any type of thrill ride, which is why they had to go and get Test Track and now, not that Soarin's a thrill ride, but what's the other one I'm thinking about? Mission Space.
Spaceship Earth?
No, well, Spaceship Earth is not.
No, not okay. You're not.
But Mission
I'm wrong,
Space,
sorry.
something thrilling that that can compete, and people say, "Oh yeah, we went on a thrill ride," because every time they come to theme park, they feel like I got to go on a thrill ride. For when you guys were young, we were going to Epcot. It really was like an educational type situation. It was like a field trip almost.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I think after the first couple presentations, you guys were like, where are the rides? Where are the, the cars and the ride vehicles and stuff like that?
I think I had to be an adult to appreciate Epcot because I was like, ooh, we can eat and drink and walk around. That was me as a grown up, but like as a kid, I'd be like,
you're like, this is.
We went through the Coca-Cola thing, and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to go.
It's not like the other parts where you have ride after ride. Epcot is especially once you get into World Showcase, it becomes a field trip
experience,
which is great because we've said in the past that this may be the closest that some people ever get to going to some of these places, and you couple these countries and their really detailed depictions of the countries along with the people that are working there, you can really get a good feel for Germany. You can get a good feel for Italy. You can get a good feel for these things because the people are there and they're telling you stories about their actual homeland. So that's the reason I really like World Showcase. Now, I sort of struggle. I was trying to keep it into a realistic realm. And I started thinking about stuff like, man, how great would it be? That ride idea I told you about, the attraction idea we were talking about, I don't know how many shows ago, but I was from Wakanda when they were getting on the ships, down in that mountain thing, and the monorail where they had the ending fight. I said that should be an attraction.
Should totally be a ride.
Like that should be the monorail. That should be like a lot of stuff.
So cool.
So I thought, how could you just crowbar Wakanda into World Showcase? So here's what I came up with. There were two that I thought about, and I think I'm going to go with Switzerland. There's not a Switzerland.
There's not a Switzerland?
There's a Norway. I'm going to tell you the one I almost came up with, and it probably may be a better one. It's Brazil. Brazil is the one that I hear they actually are considering doing.
That would be amazing.
Listen, the culture in Brazil, South America, is bananas.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you had like a carnival type vibe.
Yes.
And let's say for I don't know, you know how Epcot does this stuff for New
Yeah,
Year's and
for
have all
New
those parties and
Year's?
stuff?
Oh, that
Imagine
would
if you
be
had
so
a
cool.
carnival for Brazil.
For New Year's.
That would be super awesome. And have like the authentic dancers and the parades and stuff like that. I mean, literally, that's what Carnival is one
be
elongated,
amazing.
never-ending parade
That would be amazing.
of colors and culture and food and everything that World Showcase, is about already. It would really be something. The colors would be awesome. So I think I'm going to switch mine. I'm just going to say Brazil because now that I say it out loud.
That's a great idea.
I'm going to tell you why I said Switzerland and why I almost didn't say it because Norway has some similar features. Switzerland I like pictorially because there are the mountains. And I said,
Yeah,
you know
it's very
what?
pretty.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. That's what actually has attracted me to want to go there. Along with they say the people are really nice. It's just from a. Oh, you know what? Remember that year we watched Amazing Race?
Yeah.
And they went through Switzerland and they were doing all those. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's Switzerland is beautiful, and I want to go there really bad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The tough thing about Switzerland is
it's cold.
well, I don't care about that. The for a first timer, trying to because when I started planning our trip like 2 years ago, because I was planning for us to go soon, and then things started going,
Left.
yeah, and so all the overseas stuff we had planned for this year, particularly like our anniversary stuff, it just got the kibosh. Well, at least a delay. But what I was going to say is for a first timer going to Switzerland, is trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
Like, because they're spread out. Like Geneva, for example, what can I see in Geneva? Or I forgot what the other place was. But I want to see what I saw in Amazing Race. Like, I want to see those mountains. I want to see those valleys. I want to see those homes. And actually, I would want to be there when it was snowing. I want to see what those villages look like when it's full of snow. I did so much research. It's crazy. I got pictures like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, Brazil would be my choice to create. I don't necessarily have a theme attraction to go with it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking very hard about, okay, what did we do? What did Disney do that's Brazil-ish?
I don't think Disney has done anything that's Brazil-ish because Rio is not a Disney movie.
No. So, but from a cultural side, Brazil could bring
they did it right.
that carnival. And here's the other thing. Brazil, when these group, well, because you work there, but when these big tour groups come, a lot of times to the parks, a lot of them are from South America and from Brazil. Yeah. And I know there's a large Brazilian following for Disney and Disney parks. Yeah. So, I hear...
Crazy enough, there's also like a really big following for Switzerland too, so you couldn't go wrong either way.
And I think the benefit would be outside of what we discussed. I think if you did it right, you could have Carnival. Can you see this parade going around World Showcase? Absolutely. Like literally set up to go around and people just kind of sitting on the side and watching this thing? It would be bananas.
What I will say is if they stuck true to Brazilian Carnival, like, because Carnival happens everywhere. It happens in Atlanta, it happens in Toronto, it happens in Brazil, it happens everywhere. Yeah. So if Florida or Disney had a Carnival behind the Brazilian portion of the World Showcase, how family friendly would that be? How would you do logistics? Because, I'm sure they could do it logistically because they have crazy numbers every single day at the parks, but you will have to think about the influx of people. Well,
here's how I would handle it as an Imagineer. I would handle it no different than I do food and wine because it gets a little... Yeah, it's very true. Adultish. People get to drinking. Sometimes they get to drinking too much. Yeah. Or the New Year's type concerts. I would handle it that way because those are adult types of events, and I think they want them to feel more adult because Disney gets this depiction in the public like they only do kitty stuff. Yeah. Well, they want to compete with Universal also. They're not going to ever do a Halloween Horror Nights, but they want to have like adult type of things. So food and wine, flower and garden. They're going to serve alcohol. That's a big deal. Walt didn't want alcohol in any of the parks.
Gotcha.
Like that was a big deal for him. He didn't want that stuff to happen. So they're trying to be more adult. So Carnival, yes, it can be a little risque, but I just think that's the culture. I think people just gotta get
with it.
Yeah, like get
no
get
chicken
beside
fingers
yourself
in Brazil.
and
Get
just
with
let it happen because to me it's in good taste.
Yeah.
Here's a good opportunity for us to learn about the culture we don't know. So we can understand what the dances mean. We can understand why the dancers dance the way they dance and wear what they wear and what the colors represent in terms of the people and the different dialects. And it'd just be a great learning opportunity. I mean, it could be another festival for
It could
for
be another
Epcot.
festival. Mm-hmm.
It could be. All right, guys. Well, that's going to conclude our Keep, Kill, Create. We hope you enjoyed that. Before we end, I did have an article I wanted to go over with you. This is pretty interesting. This is on eater.com, EATER.com. And what they did was rank the countries for Epcot. And the article's a little older, but I thought it still held up. And it was interesting because a lot of what we talked about, the countries were on here. And guess what country they listed last out of 11?
America.
Of course.
So first they had Morocco. They talked a lot about the food and, of course, the depiction of Morocco. And we've all heard the stories by now that the Moroccan king sent his craftsmen over to ensure and help that was designed correctly.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, they listed France.
I do like France.
France is going to, get even more popular because of Ratatouille and Mary Poppins and that. Is it Mary Poppins in France?
Mary Poppins, I believe, is in England, but Beauty and the Beast.
She's in the UK. Yeah, she's in the UK.
Is in Paris or in France.
In France. Okay, so France is getting the upgrade there. Italy, they had Italy number 3. And, of course, they talked about Via Napoli, the pizza, the food there. They had Japan, Nia, yours, number 4. They had Japan as number 4, true to the cultural depictions. They talked about the dining. They had Canada, surprisingly, at number 5.
Canada's amazing.
Yeah, I like the Canada Pavilion. When you keep walking, you like, how deep does this thing go? That's what surprised me with the waterfalls and all that kind of stuff. So if you ever go to Canada, don't just kind of hover in that first area.
Go all the way
keep
back.
Walking all the way back. There's a lot more stuff back there. And I was like, you need some signs or something because I would have just stopped at one of these stores and came on out. Number 6, they listed as the UK.
Good food.
Good food, good depiction, great gift shops. They listed My Mexico as number 7. Mm-hmm. Of course, they talked about the inside of the pavilion, how it was created, and then they talked about the restaurant and things like that. Number 8 was Germany.
Germany's cute.
I love Germany. You know why? I do not drink beer, but I love those cups.
Yeah.
And when I was a meat eater, I would eat my share of sausage.
Yeah, they did.
And I love bratwurst. And I'll tell you, man, listen, they had Germany at number 8.
I like it.
They had China at number 9. I like China.
You can get ginger ice cream in China. It's very good.
I've never had that.
If you like ginger.
And number 10, they have Norway. So pretty much most of the countries that we talked about. And so just so we're going to end off, so everyone knows all of the 11 that are currently there. When you go into World Showcase, into World Showcase, go to your left, you start off with Mexico, then you get to Norway, you have China, Germany, Italy, the American Adventure, Japan, Morocco, France, the International Gateway, which we didn't talk about, United Kingdom, and Canada. And that rounds off the 11. So we'll see in the coming years, obviously, with this unpleasantness has slowed down much of the renovations that Disney had planned for any park. And, of course, they are doing the best that they can to keep as many people employed. So a lot of the renovations will have to, take less precedence than, people's employment, which is good. So as soon as things pick up again, we'll see, will it be Brazil? Will it be Switzerland? Yeah. So, guys, thank you for joining us this week. As always, we appreciate it. And you can keep checking back My Disney Brain for more great Disney content. Share our podcast with a friend, with a family member, with a coworker. And don't forget to give us a 5-star review. We hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.